We talk everything health and fitness here at the Living Run. We are excited. We got a flat-out ton of food in front of us, sitting right in front. Paul's appetite is big. Max is excited. My first question to both you guys, sitting in here, did Ryan Ferran ever provide this much food to you when you were doing a show with him?
I mean, it's not a host measuring contest, but I mean, if it was, I don't recall a home cooked meal like this.
Yeah, I just was checking in, just seeing if he was taking care of you guys the way you take. But in fact, Paul, where have you been lately? I'm starting to think it's kind of 2 weeks on, 2 weeks on, 3 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 4 weeks off. It's almost like the firemen, but even a little bit better than that. You're slowly kind of itching that off days or off weeks more than the on weeks. What's going on there?
Well, I had a talk with Max, and he just said, he said you were growing tired of me. So he said, why don't I just take a week off, maybe, a little hiatus, maybe a sabbatical, if you will, and just work and a little bit of play, but a lot of work, actually.
Yeah, too much work, less living the run. Hey, guys.
That's not true. You know what? We'll get to it in the show.
Okay. Hey, follow us, guys, on livingtherun.com, facebook.com. If you missed any of these last shows, we've had a bunch. I know we replayed last week while I was in Hawaii. We replayed the Dean Karnazes show. If you never heard Dean Karnazes, ultramarathon man, that was a fantastic show. And again, we'll get Dean again next year. He's online. We had Winter Vanecki, a 13-year-old who's doing some absolutely amazing stuff, got us emotional here in studio. Another fantastic video. Again, find these on Facebook, find them on livingtherun.com. Great stuff. We'll update some race schedules later. There is a absolute ton coming in here in the fall. But first things first, we have an absolute ton of food in front of us. Organic food, an incredible meal. We had Virginia come on the last couple weeks doing different things here in the nutrition world. One of the things we asked Virginia to do was to say, can you put together a meal with organic foods, with high-quality foods that will help us actually live the run, help us heal from our injuries, help us sleep better, help us get those nutrients we need, but do it at a low cost. One of the biggest things out there, and one of the biggest arguments, Paul, that we've seen is that you can't eat organic for cheap. You can't put together a decent meal, a healthy meal, and still be able to afford it. And at these times with unemployment, at these times where dollars are often a little bit tight, this is a big topic. We're excited to have Virginia come on in just a minute.
Yeah, and especially, resources in the household. Like you said, a lot of people working a lot of hours, resources in the household. You may not have 5-6 hours to prepare this huge meal, and looking at what she's provided and the instructions, it does seem to be relatively short.
Yeah, and it actually looks pretty, too. It's always that in the idea of presentation. I just see a ton of colors here. So it looks like we got Virginia on the line. We joked about it last time. Train came out there and had their song, Meet Virginia. Well, we eat with Virginia, and so we're fortunate and thankful right now. I know Max and Paul. Max got his mouth full of Virginia, so he can't say anything, but thanks so much for this great presentation. Talk to us a little bit about this myth. With regards to not being able to eat good foods at still a reasonable cost.
Of course. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you. I loved cooking that meal for you guys. I had two worries. One was that you guys are eating with plasticware. I don't know if you have utensils there. And my second was that it's enough food for you three men. So hopefully it's enough food. Hopefully it proves its point that should be big enough servings and stuff you by the end of the show. I get told all the time, the feedback I get from people is, yeah, I hear you that I should do organics. I hear you that I should eat all natural, but it breaks my budget. I don't have $1,000 a month to spend on organic foods. And that's such a myth, because I just presented you with, 5 dishes that hopefully have 4 servings, or at least get you well-fed, high nutrient-dense foods that cost me $18.96. So, again, there is some forethought, there is some planning, there is some changing of our ways, including that sitting down for 45 minutes and making food is actually more convenient and healthier than going through a drive-thru. So that's part of breaking that myth for people. Some of it's also using your resources that your cities and your local areas provide. Some of the solutions I give to people is talk to your neighbors. They've probably got fruit trees. They've probably got vegetables growing galore. There are a lot of people out there who have soccer games leave boxes of zucchini with Take Me, I'm free. Figure out what you can do with some zucchinis. There's lots of free food out there. We are not at a shortage of free food in this, especially in SLO County. We're very fortunate. So, do you guys have any favorites yet?
I don't have any favorites yet, but Max would love to call shenanigans, but again, his mouth is full. So
don't talk with your mouth full.
He wants to call shenanigans on the chicken. Now you said this. It's 1896, correct?
So I will tell you right now, and I'll probably scan on my receipt, that chicken was $8.96 and by far the most expensive thing on my grocery list. That is all organic, all natural chicken. One of the things that I try to help people understand when they're cooking organic food is stop thinking that your feast or your protein is the main element of your food. What I gave you was a whole split chicken. I really hope that can feed 4 of you comfortably, and if it can't, put some more veggies on your plate because you're not eating right. It means that you have way too much protein and you need to add some veggies. So think in that rainbow of color. So yes, the chicken, most expensive thing, probably triple of anything else on that. Next to the cheese, again, another item that can be expensive, but the cheeses that I have in there came under the $3 budget. So really think about when you present food to people and you're on a budget, what can I replace that usually I'd want to spend a lot of money on steak, a lot of money on fish, all these high proteins. Have some of it. But go to that 3-ounce rule. You need 3 ounces. That's it.
Hey, no question about it, Virginia. We're talking to Virginia Merrim here, and she's cooked an absolute fantastic meal for us. And I'll say this right off the bat, Virginia, there is more than enough food here for 4. This is and more than enough food for these just three adult guys. But when you start to look at how much meat is there, you just hit a huge point there. From a 3 to 4 ounce portion, when you're going in that with that mindset, there's more than enough, and you hit another key point, get more vegetables. As I look at this thing, and I haven't tried it yet, I look forward to doing it in the break, the thing that makes me most excited is this Greek mixed whole milk cheese and tomato salad tossed over arugula. This is just fantastically rich, number one, with the avocado, with the cheese. Put it over some great greens, and you have a really wonderful dish. And this is where we probably should spend a little bit more time on our plate, not necessarily in the meat. Take us through a little bit, a couple of these recipes that you did, because, again, you got 5 dishes here, again, for under $20. And the Living the Run listeners need to understand that this is huge stuff to be able to get into the kitchen, use resources, and be able to produce a meal that's massive like this that would easily do 5 to 6. Hey, and bottom line, tastes phenomenal. Right now, my number 1 dish, just by the way, these French dill potatoes are to die for.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, the wild rice and garden veggies with figs. No way. I just had a bite of fig with that. It was incredible. Are those brown turkey figs? What are those, green figs?
Paul, what's crazy?
They're actually Moroccan figs.
Moroccan figs.
Moroccan. We can't get any words out of Max. His mouth is full all the time. This guy looks like a chipmunk. His cheeks are so full.
I think, and one of my favorite things is to nourish men, which is probably a conversation for my therapist. But I am making sure that everyone is well fed around me. You did pick 3 of my goals, which was that it is nutrient dense, you are stuffed, and that it doesn't break your budget. So yes, I'm glad to hear that all that happened. And one of the ways in which I always make sure this happens in my household is that I have all the resources already in my kitchen. Some of those resources include, I'm very big on apple cider vinegar. I think we could all use it more in our day for multiple different medicinal reasons. But it also flavors anything. Makes great dressing, makes great marinade, all over the board. Cheap. This is not an expensive item to have in your cupboard in order to mix with. And fresh herbs. I literally can walk to Trader Joe's and find 4 different fresh herbs on my walk on the sidewalk. Don't pay for them in the store. I pick up some rosemary. I pick up some lavender. I pick up some dill. It's just growing everywhere. Get to learn what's fresh, what's real. Cut it and just keep it at your house. You just saved yourself probably $12 in seasonings. Nice thing about herbs is they're very nutrient dense. They're flavor dense, but they pack your meals full of vitamin C, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, the list goes on. And if they're growing right now, they're probably good to eat right now. So the weather will determine what you need vitamin and mineral-wise. So that's one of the ways in which I do it. Always make sure that I have Himalayan sea salt on me. Again, not expensive, but it flavors everything and it adds some nice minerals into your dishes. So just make sure that you start off with a cupboard that has some basic supplies that don't cost a lot of money. So you get those potatoes, you toss in the fresh dill, you toss in the rice vinegar, toss in the sea salt, you toss in the garlic, you mix it up, boom, that's it. Not a big deal.
Now you said
simple recipe.
You said Himalayan sea salt. Is that going to be? I have to ask because I know there's different kinds. But what's going to be the benefit of that versus like a Mediterranean
Himalayan
sea salt?
Yeah, it's the pink sea salt, so it's the one that still maintains some of the color. We do that. The specific type of sea salt it's named that actually still holds the minerals and the vitamins. That's why it has a pink tone to it. It's not brought through all the processing that most sea salts are brought through. So salt naturally has some color. We like to drench it of its color because we think it looks prettier. Personally, I like the pink sea salt. I think it's much, much prettier. So Himalayan sea salt is one of those on those lists of you can know it's really organic, you can know it's really natural, you can know it's really processed if it's this. There is a list out there like that. That's one of them. So both Trader Joe's now sells it and New Frontiers, and I heard from someone that Vons is selling Himalayan sea salt.
Hey, talk real quick before we let you go. And again, we're talking to Virginia Merrim, who's provided a flat-out feast for us. And one of the things we want to talk about Living the Run is we got to feed that body and feed it appropriately so it can recover from these workouts, so we can restore ourselves and increase longevity. She's got 5 dishes, all organic and all for under $20, serving 4. The big question is how long does something like this take to prepare? Because it's very intimidating for the average person to come in, see this many dishes, and see this many different colors of foods, this many different preparations. They start to get nervous that time is going to be an issue. Talk about that.
And I want to challenge your listeners, because first of all, I know that most of your listeners are athletic and they're not scared of putting some effort into something. So, number one, start to love your food. Start to feel like you're nourishing your body. Find that relationship with your food. You're not going to be as scared about it if you have a relationship with food. We have a lot of focus in this country on guilt when it comes to our food. Let's get rid of that and let's put some joy and nourishment into our food. It's like Julia, bon appetit, enjoy it. So be prepared that you might have to chop. Try to not bring the processor out. Try not to buy pre-chopped garlic, and enjoy that process a little. So that meal for me, to make all that, plus I also cooked dinner for my family last night, in total was after a full work day. I only spent an hour and 45 minutes in the kitchen. That includes washing the dishes because I don't own a dishwasher. So not bad. I don't think.
Keeping it real, Virginia. I'm telling you, we enjoy this every week. We're going to go through bit by bit each one of these recipes so that the listeners can get a real sense of what's in all of this. We thank you again. It's been great stuff. If you missed Virginia the last couple weeks, she helped us learn make kombucha. We did a little Paleolithic meal. You can find all those things on livingtherun.com as well as facebook.com. We look forward to next week. Where we
bon appetit.
Continue to eat with Virginia. Bon appetit.
All right. Enjoy. Bye.
Thanks so much. Hey, more from Living the Run in moments.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Since 1929, Standard Process has been dedicated to providing the highest quality whole food supplements. Their philosophy is simple: to provide nutrients as they are found in nature. Today, scientists are finding more and more evidence demonstrating the benefits of whole food nutrients over high-dose synthetic vitamins. Standard Process's unique products are sold through healthcare professionals who are trained in using whole food nutrition as the first line of defense for the body. Visit www.standardprocess.com for more information or to find a Standard Process healthcare practitioner near you.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
My name is Chris Randolph, and as a local track and field Olympic hopeful, I've been seeing Brian Quigley at Slow Wellness Center to help me with injury recovery during my season. Brian has not only helped me with some very extensive injuries, but has also educated me on the specifics of how my body moves when I compete. His knowledge and touch has helped me achieve personal bests in my competition and has also helped me in injury prevention. Becoming a wellness patient of his has helped me stop my injuries before they start, making time spent recovering shorter, leaving more time spent training for my goals. From injury prevention to wellness, Brian understands the patient and holistically helps them achieve their personal health-related goals. So check out Brian Quigley at peakperformanceslo.com and find him on Facebook and comment a response to this ad and get a complimentary 60-minute massage.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
We're back with Living the Run.
Tough to talk with your mouth full, Paul. Finally, Max got his emptied out. Unbelievable stuff here. Love to eat with Virginia. She continues to produce, and she produces not only the high-quality products. We now know that we can produce things from our own garden, from our own resources here in San Luis. We know that we can do it cheaply, and we know we can do it tastefully, and we can feed a whole bunch of other people at the same time. Pretty awesome stuff, Paul.
Yeah, I think you're just going to have to be careful where you pick your herbs up from on your run. I mean, you don't want to pick them up along the major pathway of, like, you know, people go home from the bar. You know, you don't want to pick them up along the side of the road. Oh, look, it's all growing really well right here. Look at this spot. Oh, take some from here.
Yeah, we're not in Nepal where they have to worry about washing those vegetables a little bit excessively because of human excrement. I think San Luis Obispo is at a little higher quality there, Paul Tarek. I'm not sure what you're doing in your yard, but and San Luis Obispo keeps pretty high standards. You know, the thing that I thought she made interesting about that was it's a form of government that never really happened, but has been an idea for a long time, and that idea of collectivism, and I've always enjoyed that, and San Luis Obispo actually does a pretty darn good job of it. You know, you got neighbors with chickens, and they bring you eggs. You know, you've got fruit trees, you bring them fruit. Somebody else has got some of those rich garden vegetables. You bring that, and you start doing kind of some swapping back and forth, and you can really make for an easy resources in your neighborhood, not having to go to the store all the time.
That was like a pitch to be Amish. That's what it was.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, Paul Tarek, who lives the longest, who has the highest longevity of any community in North America? Loma Linda, California. Absolutely amazing. A whole lot of Amish people there, Paul. I think
are they Amish or Mennonites?
I thought that they were Amish, but regardless, similar characteristics. They eat off the land. Spirituality, they spend time during the day resting, they spend time with family. There's so many things that those, and they're moving, constantly moving. They use the resources of the land. Good stuff. I think a lot that can be learned from them.
Yeah, but they're not keeping up with the Joneses, you know. They're not keeping up with the guy on the street and buying the next best thing and worrying about what kind of bills to pay and hurrying to stock a bunch of money away. They're missing out on a lot, Rex. I just don't...
Hey, they're missing the point. You know, it was great. I just got back from Hawaii, and, you know, of course we know on the Big Island, not this weekend, but the following Saturday, I believe it is, we got Ironman World Championships. What a fantastic sight it was, Paul, to be out on the streets there in Kona, and it's just one athlete after another coming by. And some, you know, some old, some younger, some fast, some a little slower, but all with that same goal of maximizing their human potential, looking to kind of push the limits. As we talked to a guy last week, Rich Bergender, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, talked about getting a little bit uncomfortable. And just that idea of just making yourself have to mentally focus and essentially, you know, like we say, live the run here. And a neat thing. I look forward to Ironman in a week or so. Amazing athletes.
Did you go by yourself or did you go with the wife?
Actually, you know, I went with my two sons. My wife unfortunately had to go out east, but we were out there and it was a big family affair. Fun stuff. I got a few runs in myself. It was nice.
I was just going to say, if she would have been there, I think she would have goaded you into trying to stay and enter. I know your wife totally would have tried to do that to you.
The difference, Paul, in these, as you know, athletically, you actually have to qualify. There's no just, hey, where's the sign-up sheet? No. I think I want to do Ironman Kona.
No, that's if you want to play by the rules. What was that? What was it? The Boston Marathon a couple of years ago. That lady jumps in right at the finish line. Like, yeah. Look at me! I won. I ran a quarter mile. Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, good stuff. Again, if you missed it earlier here on Living the Run, ESPN 1280, The Ticket. We got a studio full of food, good food. And when you start to talk about the training at the level that they're doing at Ironman World Championships, or some of the guests we have, we got a guy coming on next week, Paul, Justin Levine. This guy is going to try to go 300 miles running in 4 days. Essentially, he's got to break 100 hours is his goal, so he's going 75 miles a day. He's going to do that in 4 days, and he's raising money for cancer. But when you're pushing the body like that and pushing the envelope, you got to restore with foods like this. That's what Virginia's put in front of us. And I think one of the things, she put there, and we've said this before, is fill your plate with the colors of the rainbow. Pretty good stuff. She says forage your neighborhood. I guess that means eat locally. And
tell your neighbors though. Let them know ahead of time that you'll be climbing in their tree.
But use dried, unsweetened fruits. Very, very good. Fruits will naturally sweeten when you do that. Consider these local CSAs. I know Slow Veg is a big one around here. We get their box delivered to our office. Again, something simple. It's actually very, very cheap. It's actually, again, keeps you from having to go to the store. It actually saves time. And it also makes you have variety. So these are the types of things that athletes are doing, and I can guarantee you that when you look at those athletes out there at Kona, for example, you're looking at people that care about this stuff, and they're eating food like that's right in front of us.
Well, the one thing she talked about, we have that mentality that you have to have a lot of meat, you have to have a lot of protein. It's like this, I don't know if it's an American mentality or what, but it's like, unless our steak is double-digit ounces, it's just a little steak. For the general person, we don't need that much. We don't need that much protein, and we can, if you're training or you're getting ready for something, everything she's given us here, we can change a little bit, add a little more of this, take away a little bit of that, and supplement it to, or at least match it up to how our training's going and what we're wanting to do.
Yeah, no question about it. A favorite Max? We got to let Max get in here because,
he finally doesn't have food in his mouth?
Well, he didn't have food in his mouth, and, he's got that slight concern about his girlfriend getting mad that he's going to overeat. So he's done a pretty nice job of just getting these tastes in. So it's almost like a taste test for Max here, like he's sipping wine or tasting a little beer. Max, what's the favorite out of these 5 things that we got sitting here?
You mean by eating small amounts, I've almost cleaned my plate off completely?
Yes, exactly.
I have to say, all of it was quite delicious. I'm a personal lover of beets, and those beets were amazing. My girlfriend makes beets all the time, but those were just a step above hers. She's fortunately not listening tonight, so I can say that.
You hope, but they do have this on Facebook.
But remember, we do put it on Facebook. Yeah.
Well, I'll direct her elsewhere for that day. But, the potatoes, like you said, amazing. They're not just your standard kind of baked potatoes. They have fresh dill in them. They've got some celery. You can taste some pepper. There's all sorts of good stuff in there. The rice, also delicious. Most people think of these bland things when you take all these vegetables and all this stuff, but when you put it all together and cook it together, the flavors come out amazing. It's so good.
Amazing. And again, I think that the focus has to be here that this is stuff that's all come here locally. This is local picked vegetables, local foods, the avocado, the beans, the carrots, all these foods are local. We'll put these things online too, Paul. That's another great thing here. I think that sometimes people are intimidated by how to get creative or what to do. They're not quite sure where to start. And again, here's a big list. French dilled potatoes, wild rice and garden veggies with figs, green mixed whole milk cheese and tomato salad tossed over arugula, roasted golden beets, and a slow roasted herb organic chicken. I'm telling you, if somebody gave that to you, all of a sudden you might start to kind of get stressed and back up and go, wait a minute, how am I going to figure out how to do all that?
How's this puzzle fit? Yeah.
How's this puzzle? So we're going to put that online for the listeners and let them know that it's available to them. And pick one, pick two, add where you want. But this is big-time fall harvest meal. And as fall approaches, even though it doesn't feel like it, Paul. Hey, Paul, that's what I wanted to ask you. Did Monday, during that Monday heat, were you out there about 1 o'clock? Was that you that I saw running up the mountain there, Bishop's Peak, about 1 o'clock there? I think it was about 108 degrees.
Oh, man.
Was that you?
You must have been out there way too long. You must have been delirious to think that was me out in that heat. Heck no. No, Monday, I actually surfed a little on Monday. That was what I was getting. You were hassling me for not doing anything. And my wife she was back in the Midwest visiting family, and I played the old bachelor life for a while, and I surfed. I haven't surfed for 5 days straight in I don't know how many years, and I surfed 5 days straight, and luckily the swell was pretty good, and it was a great time. We were out there one day like 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours.
Awesome stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about some of these races here coming up, but I got to tell you a surf story. I was standing with my father-in-law my sister-in-law got married. That was the reason we went out to Hawaii, and she married a Puerto Rican guy. And so half the crowd there was Puerto Rican, and half the crowd was mostly from the Bay Area. Puerto Rican guy showed up on Sunday. They were out there setting up chairs, and they see this enormous scar on the back of his shoulder. And it looked like it wrapped from the front of the shoulder all the way down his back, and then underneath his lat and rib cage there. My father-in-law says, well, what the heck was that? Did he hurt his shoulder? I said, no, that's not a shoulder surgery. He says, well, what, do you have an organ? Is it a gallbladder? I said, no, that's not a gallbladder thing. I say, that guy got hit by a great white. And he goes, no way. So, of course, I didn't know this, but I knew the guy had a trauma. My guess was that he probably fallen off a motorcycle or something like that. We asked him, we said, what is that on the back of your arm there? And I said, is that from a great white? He goes, yeah, the day I was supposed to leave from my vacation, I'd been in Australia for 3 weeks, went surfing that morning, stayed for another 3 months. Great white hit him. Unbelievable, multiple surgeries. Maybe another reason not to go to Australia. I don't know. I mean, deadliest snakes, crocodiles, the sharks, and then the jellyfish. The jellyfish out there too.
It's like they have butterflies that can kill you. Stay away from that. Nature does not want people there. That's what it's saying. It's saying stay away, stay away.
Yeah, it was kind of a shocker for me, but it was nice to be in Hawaii. You don't have to worry about that stuff, and then the reality is you don't need to worry about that stuff anyway. It's such a small percentage of that going on, but a pretty wild deal. Guy was a neat guy, and he was there actually to getting close to wanting to watch the Olympics, I guess, that year, and Shark came up and changed plans.
Changes plans. I gave him a little longer stay. So, hey, you know what I was thinking before? Unfortunately, the idea is about 15 minutes later. We probably should have taken a picture of all of this, because there is an impressive amount of food for less than $20. I mean, I would be shocked if you could say you could go to the grocery store and buy this type of food in this quantity for $20.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right there, and that's one thing that needs to be kind of looked at when you look at this. And by the way, Virginia doesn't forget anything, and she did take pictures of all this stuff.
Oh, nice. I was going to say maybe we could convince her to do it again just so we could get a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for posterity's sake.
Yeah, she already did take pictures of this stuff, and we'll get that up online too, because again, the colors are flat out amazing. But I think you make a good point there, Paul, is that there's no question we have to get active in our own landscape, and she kind of talked about that a little bit, getting a little bit more emotionally tied to your food, and one of the ways to do that is to grow it. And in this Mediterranean climate, there's no excuse. You can grow anything. We're going to have a guy on in a couple weeks, Gabriel Frank, runs that company called Gardens by Gabriel, and he's really kind of an expert in some of these fields, especially he's kind of an expert in dirt. And we've talked about that before, and we're excited to have him on because he's going to talk to you about how to get a little bit emotional about the dirt at your house and how to get that dirt providing food like we see here. And the cost decrease is absolutely amazing. She hit on one. I mean, rosemary, for crying out loud. You can make massive rosemary bushes. It's not that difficult. Take out some scissors, cut off a couple branches, and you throw it in with some chicken or what have you. And it's such an easy herb to grow. Something easy to create creativity in your kitchen. Add some stuff to your food and not cost anything. Really good stuff.
You're not going to be upset when I monopolize all of his time, are you? When I'm asking him, I got sandy soil. What do I need to plant? How do I need to, what do I need to mulch it with? What do I need to do? You're not going to be upset, are you? I just want to make sure.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to warn Gabe in advance, about sometimes
I'm going to call Gabe and take him to my house. Be like, hey, what I think we should do, Gabe? You should come on over, and that way I don't have to ask you the questions.
Well, Paul, can we count on you being here in 2 weeks? I mean, that's got to be the big question. We're trying to run a consistent radio show.
2 weeks?
Max and I are trying to put together a schedule each week. We're spending countless hours here trying to just get that lineup just right, get some repetition so the listeners can expect, a certain product. And it's like you're the guy that's just the lack of consistency for us here. Thank God for pinch hitter Adam Melhuse. I mean, I don't know where this show would be without Adam.
Probably rated a lot lower. Probably the ratings would be terrible.
The biggest question I had last week is Paul going to run the show by himself?
Oh gosh, no. We tried that a long time ago.
We've had that happen before.
We tried that a long time ago. No, it's like,
Dean was a better one.
Yeah, Dean Karnazes was better. It's definitely the thing to bring Dean back.
Would you let your kids babysit each other? I mean, I mean, what do you? That's terrible. That's a terrible idea.
Hey, Paul, when we come back on this, we're going to talk a little bit more again about this absolutely incredible meal that we got in front of us. Again, 5 dishes, folks. If you didn't get the beginning of the show, we got 5 amazing organic dishes in front of us that covers the gamut of vegetables. We got figs, we got potatoes, we got meat, and it really, really is an amazing deal. A meal for 4, and like I would argue, more a meal for 6 here for under $20, provided by Virginia. And again, she said an hour and a half, hour 45 to prep, cook, and clean. Good stuff. This is an incredible thing. We'll put that on Facebook. But when we return, Paul, we are going to talk a little politics. And the only thing that really matters to me in this next election, and that is Prop 37. Prop 37, we're going to make sure everybody knows about this. And we'll talk about it when we return here on Living the Run.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Folks, when it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go. Go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your haircut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff puts your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
The ultimate choice for sports massage in SLO County? Peak Performance. Conveniently located at SLO Wellness Center just blocks from Cal Poly is ready to assist you to reach your personal best. Calling all athletes and fitness enthusiasts. If you're ready to start alleviating symptoms by addressing the true problems, if you are seeking efficient and effective body work, then you can count on Peak Performance. Nagging injury, losing the bounce in your step, pain or tightness keeping you from training hard and reaching your goals? Raise your standards, raise your expectations. Call Peak Performance 543-8688.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
When I was your age and we went camping, Grandpa always told ghost stories.
Were they scary?
They sure were.
Ooh, tell me one.
Create memories that your son or daughter will never forget. Take them camping, hiking, or fishing. But before you go, get everything you need at Four Seasons Outfitters.
Okay, let's see if I can remember one. Oh, yeah. A father and son were camping.
You mean like us?
Uh-huh. And not far from where they were was a spooky old shack.
Is that where the ghost is, Dad?
You'll find backpacks and tents, freshwater and deep-sea fishing equipment, campfire cooking supplies, guns and ammo, everything you need for your next adventure in the great outdoors.
Anyway, everything is quiet when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they hear a voice.
Hey, guys.
Ah!
What's wrong? I was just bringing marshmallows from the kitchen.
Even if the adventure is in your own backyard. Four Seasons Outfitters, your outdoor adventure headquarters for more than 25 years. 432 Higuera, San Luis Obispo.
Hey, honey, can you leave the back porch light on?
We're back with Living the Run.
Chowing down here in studio, Living the Run. If you missed the show earlier, Virginia Merrim came back on. We eat with Virginia each week. This is good stuff.
Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you, Virginia. And you can get these same meals. We'll put them online for you. Again, 5 different dishes for under $20, feeding a family of 4 easily, might I add. We think maybe more a family of 6. Good stuff. We talked about eating locally and so forth. And that brings us to Paul. Well, Paul, you look... You almost look confused.
I am confused.
Which dish is confusing you
because
here?
it's not the dish that's confusing.
It's the beets or the wild rice.
When we first got everything out, you said, "Oh man, you know what looks great? This jar right here, and it's got cheese in this, and there's the arugula." And I noticed you've conveniently hid it behind your computer screen, and you haven't opened it up and shared that with the rest of I'm getting that out there. So
no question about.
Can I ask? Can I get some of that, or is it off limits? What's the story with that?
During the break, I did conveniently move it a little closer. I know the spot that it's going in my fridge for that salad later. No, absolutely.
Will you at least give us a review on it and let us know how it was?
Yeah, I'll post my review. He's talking about the. What is that? That's the Greek mixed whole milk cheese and tomato salad tossed over arugula. This thing looks amazing. Big chunks of avocado. Yeah, Paul, next break we'll let you dig into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought you were confused, Paul, because you saw these beets and you always thought beets were red and you didn't know that there was yellow beets.
What are these beets? I don't understand them.
Yeah, again, another...
Why are you yellow?
Another great fall harvest meal. And again, Living the Run listeners, we're focused a little bit more on food here today, but this is a crucial aspect of returning and restoring the body off of tough workouts. Again, some of our guests on the show just flat out amaze us with some of the things that they've tried to do and continue to do. But the fact of the matter is that they got to restore, they got to sleep, but they have to eat. And eating locally, eating organically is the way to go. And again, proven here today on Living the Run, it doesn't have to break the budget.
Do you think Virginia takes reservations by chance if we were to call ahead? I mean, would we be able to stop by? Like
everything she's made has been so
I'm
good.
going to say, yeah, like maybe Tuesday night. It'd be nice to be able to swing by on Tuesday night.
Fantastic. Hey,
yeah.
were you here for the raw balls?
No, I was not here.
Oh, those were so good.
The raw balls were fantastic.
Don't you feel as though if I were here for that it would be very memorable?
I actually do. I just kind of think it probably a great thing you weren't here for that as we look forward. Hey, let's just talk. We said we wouldn't talk politics on the show, so I don't really feel like this is politics because we're going to talk about GMO foods, but this is an interesting proposition.
He doesn't feel like it's politics because he wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Mac, you got something, though, and you can't talk about it because it's political.
Prop 37, Paul Tarek, we're looking at here, and it says right here, Prop 37 is approved by the voters. It will require labeling on raw or processed food offered for sale to consumers if the food is made from plants or animals with genetic material changed in specified ways.
Wait, is that you vote yes if you want them to label it?
You want yes if you want them to label it. So if there's GMO food out in your stores, GMO vegetables, GMO salmon now out there, if you want to know that the food was genetically modified, you need to vote yes on Prop 37. Very interesting. The next one, though, I think is interesting in this same proposition is it will prohibit the labeling or advertising of such foods as natural. Interesting word, that they've conveniently used out there when they make a genetically modified product. They use the term natural. Well, I think that if you and I hear the term natural, we think exactly what Virginia was talking about, walking down the street, seeing the rosemary bush and clipping off a few branches of rosemary. That's natural, but that isn't the way that things are being labeled now in the stores. So very interesting proposition, Prop 37, because we're starting to look at, when you start to look at kids, health and fitness, we start to look at our own restoration of our bodies as we're trying to heal from our hard workouts and from living the run. We need to know what's in our food, and I think it's very, very, very important type stuff. It also keeps them exempt, Paul, from the requirement that foods that are certified organic or unintentionally produced with genetically engineered material. Interesting proposition. I encourage the listeners to take a look at Prop 37. And we encourage the voting of yes on Prop 37 just simply because we want to know and we want to be able to make the choice whether we buy genetically modified foods or not. We're not going to argue one way or the other from a standpoint of will it make you sick, will it not make you sick. What we want to know is we want to have the choice to be able to pick what foods we want to eat.
I think it's funny because it's not. I really don't feel as though somebody is gonna, unless they're very health conscious, that somebody is gonna shy away from a product because this is GMO, but it's only $3 a pound, but this one's not, and it's $6 a pound, they're still probably going to buy the $3 one. I don't think it's going to turn, though. It's only going to turn like a very select few people away, I think. And I think it's frustrating because really all this legislation is about is, essentially not deceiving intentionally, but maybe, I don't know, deceiving the people that are concerned or do want to know what's in their food. It kind of makes it harder for the, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain kind of thing.
Well, I mean, we talked about that before, Paul. We talked about things like aspartame, artificial sweetener, or MSG, the artificial salt, or even trans fats, where, again, like you just said, they finagled the labeling a little bit. They finagled in some way, and again, we don't want to call out flat-out liars, but there is some deception to the whole thing that now you may feel like you're eating this bag of Fritos that has 0 grams of trans fat when there really is trans fat in there. Or now they're taking aspartame and just giving it a synonym that you're not as familiar with and still putting it in the product, and now you're consuming something that you're not as aware as you maybe would like to be as a consumer out there.
And people don't get upset about it because it's really things they might not be able to taste or see, but it would really be similar to ordering a hamburger someplace and the guy bringing you like a piece of ravioli. You know what I mean? It's something totally different. It's not what you ordered. It's not what you want, but it's like, no, that's what it is. Here's your hamburger, sir. This is clearly not it.
Max, was that the analogy that you were thinking about bringing up there?
I was just going to say it's kind of the same idea as when you go down the cereal aisle. And every single cereal, whether it's one that's fairly decent for you in whole grains, or whether it's Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms, they all have a gimmick phrase like extremely high in fiber, like low cholesterol dealing cereal. And it's, that might be true, but if I eat a bowl of Lucky Charms every day, I'm getting more sugar than I am anything.
I was when you said a gimmick, I was thinking I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, what you say
exactly. I mean, they're trying to present their product as something that's beneficial to you when they know it isn't.
Yeah, high in vitamin C, heart healthy. The list goes on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a big red flag if you see a cereal that has to promote how good it is like 8 different times with a little cartoon character on it.
No question about it. I was talking to a lady today in the clinic, and we were talking about that kind of concept of when you walk into a grocery store. And, I always feel bad for the person that's standing there for 2-3 minutes reading all these things on the box or on the can. If you have to read that much, you got to put it back on the shelf. This is not for you. And again, as here on Living the Run, we're looking at 5 dishes in front of us, and I can just tell you right now, Virginia, as she prepared this, wasn't having to read anything. She's taking out foods, she's throwing them in, potatoes, mashing them up, rice, cooking it up, chopping up the vegetables, chopping up the herbs, throwing chicken in. It's not a reading fest. So if you have to get into a reading deal, you're getting duped probably by some of these guys. But here's the reality. I mean, some of us are still going to buy some of these foods. I think where we get nervous is something like the chicken. She brings us the animal product, and now if you've got them genetically modifying, as we know, they're getting into the animal product a little bit with salmon, etc. You want to make sure that where that animal product came from. And again, I think maybe the biggest answer is minimize our animal product. We continue to see that as inflammation is almost directly proportional to people who consume high animal product. It's just like everywhere. I mean, and the list goes on. You can watch movie, documentary after documentary shows this. You can read journal after journal. So we want to keep that animal product low, 3 to 4 ounces, as she mentioned, the meat, but we also want to make sure we know where the heck it's coming from. And so Prop 37, interesting proposition. I encourage people to look at that and to read that. Paul, what do we got going there on the text messages?
Well, I wanted to look this up because I'd heard something about it, and I didn't want to quote it without at least verifying it. But I remember hearing something about GMO foods. They're different genetically, and they don't either we don't digest them the same way, or they don't have the same benefits, and some of them are actually harmful to us in terms of allergens. And there's also some studies that talk about younger kids who are just growing, how it has a different effect on their cells than it would on a normal, like say a normal soy. The example they use is soy, but like a normal soybean and a genetically engineered one. Or genetically modified one, the cell in the body reacts a little bit different to it. So, those are, it's not that they're bad, it's that right now they're just open-ended, you know what I mean? It's like the ... and we don't really know, and we're sacrificing, a couple cents, couple dollar profit for maybe in 10 years, maybe you're going to find out, oh man, that was really terrible for us, kind of like cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I think you're right on that. We're going to have, Paul, we're going to have a guy in just a few weeks, actually. I think it's about 3 weeks now from now, who actually worked for Monsanto. Monsanto employee. This is going to be absolutely fantastic stuff. Any chance you're going to be here for that, Paul?
3 weeks? Quite possible.
3 weeks, possibly. We're going to get a good run out of Paul here. He's going to be in studio quite often. But really, we'll be able to ask all those questions directly. Now, there's a great book. I'll put a book online as well, facebook.com. Follow us, guys, if you haven't. And we'll put it on livingtherun.com as well. And there's a really great book on GMO stuff written for the lay public. But I think getting an inside source is something I'm super excited about. And I actually just got that call today, which will be really fun. So I think we're going to have him in about 3 weeks. So, Paul, we will come back. We're going to wrap up the show in just in a few moments. We're going to talk about some upcoming races. We'll finish up with a few more bites of this fantastic food. And again, I'm telling you, looking like we're feeding 6, maybe feeding 8 with this. And we'll get ready, prep for next week's show. So we'll be back right here, Living the Run, ESPN 1280, The Ticket.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
My name is Chris Randolph, and as a local track and field Olympic hopeful, I've been seeing Brian Quigley at SLO Wellness Center to help me with injury recovery during my season. Brian has not only helped me with some very extensive injuries, but has also educated me on the specifics of how my body moves when I compete. His knowledge and touch has helped me achieve personal bests in my competition and has also helped me in injury prevention. Becoming a wellness patient of his has helped me stop my injuries before they start, making time spent recovering shorter, leaving more time spent training for my goals. From injury prevention to wellness, Brian understands the patient and holistically helps them achieve their personal health-related goals. So check out Brian Quigley at peakperformanceslo.com and find him on Facebook and comment a response to this ad and get a complimentary 60-minute massage.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, SLO Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at SLO Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, SLO Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Since 1929, Standard Process has been dedicated to providing the highest quality whole food supplements. Their philosophy is simple: to provide nutrients as they are found in nature. Today, scientists are finding more and more evidence demonstrating the benefits of whole food nutrients over high-dose synthetic vitamins. Standard Process's unique products are sold through healthcare professionals who are trained in using whole food nutrition as the first line of defense for the body. Visit www.standardprocess.com for more information or to find a Standard Process healthcare practitioner near you.
We're back with Living the Run.
Great show, Paul Tarek. Some awesome food. That salad. Did we eat that salad?
No.
Did it make it in my backpack already?
It's gone someplace. I don't remember having any. Maybe Max did. I can't be sure, but
I'll let you know
I'm sure
how it
the
went.
kids will love it. Hey, I got to be honest. When you talked about having a guy from
Monsanto.
Yeah, I'm drawing. I was like Montrose. That's not it. I'm a little nervous, man. They're like a big bully company, dude. They don't take kindly to people down talking their product, and they especially don't take kindly.
Previously from Monsanto,
Well, yeah, but he's going to be talking about it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we're going to be,
some guys in black coats may show up at your front door, Paul.
Dude, I don't want to. Hey, you saw that? You're the one that or maybe it was Ferran actually that recommended the video. But it was there was a farmer down the road. He had never stolen any of this stuff, but just naturally it's like a plant. It moves the same way any other plant gets moved. Seeds, animal droppings, everything, and it ends up like a small corner on his property, and then all of a sudden he's getting like. He's getting blackballed by this company because they're so big, and they're like, don't sell him this, don't sell. And they're telling everybody in the industry that. I don't know, man.
I actually have one concern about the GMO labeling, and that is kind of just what you're talking about, the cross-pollination of the GMO. I know it's big in corn, where if you're in a crop that is 100% organic, certified, and you're next to a GMO-designed corn crop, they can easily cross-pollinate and ruin your whole crop.
But you wouldn't know, though.
Well, exactly. And so in situations like that, how are they going to determine labeling? Are they testing each product before it goes onto the market?
I think what you're forgetting, Max, is that there's a bottom dollar here, and you're not looking at that. You're looking at common sense questions that probably should be answered before we just start introducing, like, magic Jetsons pills. But,
look, what does that mean, Max? All it means is eat locally. I think that's what it comes down to, and we have those opportunities in the farmers markets around here. We don't need to eat corn from Iowa. We can eat corn from here. We can eat corn locally. We can do that. And you're right. I can't remember the documentary. I believe that documentary was called Fresh, where they kind of went through some of those lawsuits that were happening to some of those farmers. It was kind of a nightmare, but I think that we can touch on that well enough to not ruffle any feathers and not put any of our lives in danger, but more to educate the Living the Run listeners to how can you continue to produce, optimize human potential, and get to that next level. Tips and takeaways, Paul. What did you take away from today's show?
Dude, I have a piece of paper with recipes that I'm going to eat for weeks. This is going to be my new go-to thing. I love this wild rice. I think the takeaway was, exactly like she said, get to know your body. It's the only one you have. Like, be in touch with it. Don't look at it like I'm just stuffing food in my face to, not be hungry. Like, I'm actually nourishing it when I eat. Yeah,
exactly. Get emotionally tied to your food. That's what I took from this, too, is get in there with it, grow something. Don't be afraid to get your hands on the food, feel what it feels like, know what it smells like, know what it tastes like, and better than that, just what you just said, Paul, know what it feels like after you eat it. And know what things make your body maximally perform and know what ones don't. Bunch of races ahead on the schedule. We got City to Sea in 2 weeks. We got Morro Bay Triathlon in 2 weeks. Ironman World Championships, 2 weeks. We got the the Nike Marathon in a couple weeks. This weekend, I see somebody from St. George doing the marathon. Good stuff. A lot of races. One more thing, Paul?
No, I just want to know when we're going to have our race, you and I.
We will schedule that one time when you make it. How about 4 weeks in a row? Justin Levine next week, 300 miles in 4 days, Paul. That truly is living healthy. That's living bold. He will live the run.